Call the Harrisburg Planning Commission meeting to order at approximately 6:34. Commissioners, you received your September 3rd and October 1st meeting minutes. Are there any changes, deletions, additions?
I'll make a motion to approve both the September and October minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved to second for approval. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Under old business, there's none. Under new business, item number 1 is a special exception application for 1414 North Cameron Street, which is zoned industrial. It's filed by Joshua Gray and GNR LP. It's to request relief from 4 of the required off-street parking spaces associated with the expansion of the school, public and private and primary or secondary use on site. Jeff?
Yes, so the applicant is requesting relief from 4 of the required off-street parking spaces associated with the expansion of the school, public or private, primary or secondary use on site, the Capital Academy. Student population is increasing from 115 students to 147 students, and the staffing will increase from 40 staff to 52 staff, which increases the required off-street parking from 69 spaces to 89 spaces. Because there will only be 72 spaces on site after the installation of modular classrooms in the parking lot and reconfiguration of the parking lot, ZHB approval of a special exception is required for relief from 17 off-street parking spaces. So that was the way that I had calculated it based on the numbers that we had and compared to what was submitted. The property at 1414 North Cameron Street is a 2.33 acre lot featuring a 3-story, 24,312 square foot structure, which was constructed in 1942. Property is bounded by an unaddressed parcel to the north, North Cameron Street to the east, and the property at 1400 North Cameron Street to the south and west. This detached structure features elements of a vernacular institutional architectural style. Character-defining features include the brick facade, the monumental concrete entryway, the horizontal brick and concrete bands, the regular fenestration pattern, a modern building addition in the northwestern corner, and the fenced-in playground on the southern elevation of the building. The main entrance features full-view metal double doors flanked by divided light side lights and topped with a large transom and concrete header with the property address. It is accessed by a short flight of concrete stairs with metal railings. Other entrances primarily feature full-view metal doors. Fenestration primarily features evenly spaced plate glass windows around the building, although there are some locations featuring glass block infill. The main structure is topped with a flat rubber roof with the newer addition featuring a metal roof. The building is fronted by a large accessory parking lot, and both building and parking are buffered by landscaping with larger trees along the northern and southern property boundaries. There's a large billboard at the northern edge of the parking lot. The Cameron Street corridor features little in the way of architectural character, and the building design and siting differ from many of the surrounding industrial properties. Although the brick facade and some of the architectural embellishments are reflected in older industrial properties and the housing development nearby. As such, the property does contribute to the architectural and historic character of the streetscape. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. The applicant must coordinate with Capital Region Water regarding the site disturbance and proposed configuration of the parking lot to ascertain what stormwater management or stormwater mitigation efforts may be necessary. And as the proposed parking configuration will have vehicles facing the residential properties across Cameron Street, the applicant should relocate the parking lot several feet to the west and install landscape screening along at least the eastern frontage of the proposed lot. The Planning Bureau would recommend that be extended along the entire Cameron Street frontage of the property. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The applicant has met the criteria necessary for special exception, and the proposal should have a negligible impact on the surrounding neighborhood. Because the use is already operating on site, approval of the proposal will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood and will provide benefits such as the ability to enroll new students. And finally, if the conditions of approval are adopted, the project will result in the property overall being brought into better conformance with the zoning code.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Could you state your name, address, and relationship to the project?
Sure. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Esh McCombie. I'm an attorney with McNeese, Wallace & Nurick, 100 Pine Street, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And with me is Josh Gray, principal with GNR LP, the applicant.
I live in 1937 Monterey, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
and your relationship to the project.
I'm actually the owner of the property. I'm the 90% owner of the property, and I've owned it, I think, since about 2007.
Okay.
We operated some businesses there, and the businesses were sold, and the building was vacant for several years until we were able to find the school, and they filed for a special use to get them to occupy it. But the building was empty for several years before they occupied it.
Okay. You both heard the staff report. Are you acceptable of the conditions?
Yeah, certainly the first condition, with respect to Capital Region One. As to the second one, we'll look into what we can do from a landscaping standpoint, whether it goes the whole length of Cameron, it's not there right now. Landscaping, but we'll look into it and can work with Jeff on something that's reasonable for sure.
Okay. Commissioners, I have no questions at this time, so I'll call on you to any concerns you may have, and I'll start with Commissioner O'Toole.
Yeah, the trailers that are being brought on site, is that additional classroom?
Yeah, it's additional classroom space. They're modular, but they're gonna be permanent. So they'll be there, on a foundation kind of lifted up.
All right. Yeah, I've no further questions. Pretty straightforward.
Commissioner Reed.
Will the new modular structures you're bringing in, will that make the property come to capacity, or will you have room to grow further?
Yeah,
I mean, the further we grow, the more parking we're gonna need.
Exactly.
We already have an exception on the parking. Right now, we did a traffic study, and fortunately for us, these students are all bused for reasons administratively even. So most of them, there's not a lot of high-age individuals that could drive, but all these children are bused in the school, and a lot of the faculty as well basically uses the bus system. So we did a parking study, like a traffic study, and had the cameras out there and paid the money for that, just to get an idea of who was parking there. And it turned out it was like 30 to 28 vehicles a day was the high point. So even though it's 76, so it really comes down to the question of, right now, we wouldn't be able to, because we'd ask for another parking exception. But at the moment, even though I think we're asking for 72 to be passed, there's probably gonna be 39 is what the traffic study estimated will be using a parking spot. So the answer is probably no. I think we're pretty much, probably capped out.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Marek.
Thanks. Yeah, so is the fact that you have to add 2 modular units, is the building pretty well built out then to like school-wise capacity, the classrooms?
The building, the brand new structure in the back that uses like a gym, it's like there's a space in the back that they use, but they use it for like a gym and basketball and activities.
And the problem with the building is, if you see the blue line on the map, in fact, I'm
That's
gonna
the
fan this out, because it's a little larger. That's all right, just real quick.
Is that the flood?
On the structure, another 18 inches to this.
Yeah, it should be the 100-year floodplain.
But the building, as you can see, is in the floodway itself, and so we were trying to not do any additions back in the floodway.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the idea is trying to keep it out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, parking in a floodplain isn't as concerning, right, as opposed to having classrooms, right, in there, so, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that you took the effort to put a parking study together. I think that was really helpful. I would have had a lot more questions had I not seen those numbers, and maybe even disbelief that the numbers were that low, but seeing the study and the fact that, like you said, it's everyone's bussed in, even the faculty take the bus. You don't have 16-year-olds typically driving, even they're bussed in as well, it sounds like, so.
Yeah, I think the letter from the school mentioned that there are some 16-year-olds. This year, there are none that drive, and last year there was one.
And I think that the ratio of students over 16-year-old is very limited.
Right.
So it's mostly children under 16.
Okay, yeah, thank you, I have no other questions.
Commissioner Jordan.
Yes, I think this question is more for Jeffrey. with these modular permanent structures, is that going to be another set of approvals that are going to be needed separate from this?
Yeah, so they've submitted the floodplain development approvals for anything with a new installation with a footprint in the floodplain. And it's, I don't know if it's on that map there they gave you, but it's just outside of the floodway. So it's, if it were in the floodway, that'd be a different issue, but it's in the floodplain. So it's just subject to the regulations in 7315 of the zoning code.
Okay. Yep. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Vincent?
No, everything looks good. The study is showing that you guys never had any types of complaints for parking at all. No types of assemblies or anything, so looks good.
I'll go to the public right now. If anyone's for or against this project, stand and state your name and address. I'll start to my left, and center, and to my right. Okay. Thank you. Commissioner, this is pretty straightforward. Could I get a motion?
Motion to approve with conditions?
There's a second.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the project with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstention. Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay. Item number 2 is a land development plan for 1332 North Second Street, which is zoned residential medium density. It's filed by Adam Bredeman and with Bredeman's Properties LLC. It's to expand the existing conforming multifamily dwelling use on-site by adding 8 new units to the existing 5 units on-site by converting space occupied by the former funeral home. Jeff?
Yeah, so the applicant is proposing to expand the existing non-conforming use on site by adding 8 new units to the existing 5 units. By converting space occupied by the former funeral home. The project proposes units in a variety of configurations and sizes, from studios to 2-bedroom apartments, and from 290 square feet to 850 square feet. And this is the second aspect of the zoning relief that the applicant came through, I believe, last month or 2 months ago. The property at 1332 North Second Street is a .48 acre lot featuring a 3-story structure resulting from the combination of 3 separate buildings into a mixed-use building, a funeral home and apartments with a total area of 8,428 square feet, which were constructed circa 1900, and a separate storage garage of 2,020 square feet, which was constructed in 1957. Property is bounded by Calder Street to the north, North Second Street to the east, Saferd Street to the south, and the property at 124 Saferd Street and a small grocer's alley to the west. The semi-detached structure features elements of an indeterminate architectural style. Character-defining features include the formstone facade and water table, the multiple access points sheltered by awnings around the building, the regular fenestration pattern, the upper floor decks on the rear elevation and roof, and the freestanding signs near the parking lot and building entrances. There are multiple entrances throughout the building, although the main entrance on the eastern elevation features paneled double doors and a full view door set in simple frames, which are sheltered by a large awning with square posts. Other entrances on the front and side elevations feature the same types of doors and awnings. Fenestration on the front elevation features 2/2 windows set in simple formstone surrounds with soldier course headers and sills wrapped in aluminum. Fenestration on the side elevation is more irregular and features 2/2, 1/1, and plate glass windows. The structure is primarily topped with flat rubber roofs. The other major feature of the site is a sizable surface parking lot occupying the southern half of the property, which is bordered by planting beds with trees along the eastern frontage with 2nd Street and a 4-foot-high chain link fence along the southern frontage with Saferd Street. Although the architectural style differs somewhat from nearby buildings, specifically with respect to the formstone and awnings, and large parking lot distinguishes the properties from others in the historic district, the building height, massing, and location along lot lines does generally reflect the built environment of the surrounding community. As such, the subject property minimally contributes to the architectural character of the neighborhood. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. Any exterior alterations to the property must be submitted for review by the city's historic preservation specialist and may require harbor approval of a certificate of appropriateness application. The applicant must coordinate with the Department of Public Works regarding the size, location, and screening of any required refuse containers. The Planning Bureau recommends the applicant consider eventually consolidating all refuse storage and access in the existing carport along the Calder Street frontage of the building. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The adaptive reuse of a vacant and underutilized funeral home into apartments represents a sensible expansion of the existing multifamily dwelling use on site, and the project can adequately address the primary concern regarding such proposals, specifically the provision of off-street parking for tenants and their guests. Other conversions of former commercial spaces elsewhere in the neighborhood have demonstrated such projects do not adversely impact the neighborhoods in which they are located and often help catalyze other improvements in those communities. And finally, the proposed redevelopment will add new residents to the neighborhood to activate the street on nights and weekends and grow customer base to support local businesses while providing a new neighborhood-focused space and will provide additional units to the Midtown housing inventory.
Thank you, Jeff. Could you state your name, address, and relationship to the project?
Yes, Michael White, 1419 North Third in Harrisburg. I am the operations director for Brenneman Group.
Okay. You heard the staff report with the conditions. Are you acceptable of those conditions?
Yes, we, for any exterior changes, we would of course seek approval through the appropriate body. In terms of the consolidation of refuse, that's something that we have planned. In terms of the location, we're gonna try to determine the best location. I think that is a nice covered location, but what we want to do is consolidate, but it might not be in that exact location just because there could be some windows, potentially 2 apartments there that could be access to an apartment. So we're just gonna, from a resident quality standpoint, but I kind of am of the mind to consolidate, so that makes a lot of sense to me, so.
Okay. My only concern I had initially was the parking, but I remember this, you had this project here before, and you had those extra parking spaces, so
Yes.
pretty much covers the parking. With that, Commissioners, if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll start with Commissioner O'Toole.
Yeah, as it turns out, they have plenty of parking, Joe. No, I was at the zoning hearing board, and they overturned the relief we provided them to lease those properties, those parcels out, those parking lots, so. I've done more than that.
You finished?
Yeah, I'm done, I'm finished. Oh, I'm finished.
Commissioner Reed,
I have no questions.
Commissioner Marek.
I think this is pretty straightforward. I just want to confirm there are no external improvements to the site being proposed.
No.
Correct. Thanks. No.
Commissioner Jordan,
No questions.
Commissioner Benton.
No questions.
Okay, we'll go to the public. Are there any concerns or questions? To my left? Not all? And there's no one on my right. Okay, Commissioners, as everybody says, this is pretty straightforward. Could I get a motion?
Motion to approve with conditions.
Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and second for approval of the project with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 3, this is a land development plan for 2601 North Third Street. It's building number 1, which is zone commercial neighborhood. It's followed by Gregory Hallquist with Penmark Harrisburg Holdings LLC, and it's to convert the vacant hospital building into a mixed-use building featuring 130 residential units with 1 and 2 bedroom configurations. Jeff?
The applicant proposes to convert the vacant hospital building into a mixed-use building featuring 130 residential units, associated amenity space for tenants, and both space reserved for retail uses and space set aside for future development proposals. The project proposes units in a variety of configurations and sizes, from studios to three-bedroom apartments. That should be three and not two in the summary there, and from 544 square feet to 1,143 square feet. Property at 2601 North Third Street is a 6.36 acre lot featuring a sprawling medical campus, including a 216,440 square foot facility, which was constructed in 1926, and an 83,876 square foot facility, which was constructed in 1957. Property is bounded by Wiconisco Street and the property at 2645 North Third Street to the north, North Fourth Street to the east, Polyclinic Avenue to the south, and 2645 North Third Street to the west. This property features a sprawling industrial campus with 3 to 6 story buildings that previously accommodated the Polyclinic Hospital. However, the current proposal only involves the southernmost building. Character defining features include the X building shape, the brick facade, the decorative entrance, the prominent concrete and masonry bands around the building, the consistent fenestration pattern, and the former utility room with accompanying large smokestack. There are entrances in a variety of designs and sizes around the building, many of which are solid metal utilitarian doors, although the main entrance on the western elevation features full-view double doors, metal double doors topped with a large metal transom featuring the property address, all set within a prominent masonry surround featuring sconces, a decorative cartouche of a former awning, and a Juliet balcony pediment with dentils. It is accessed by masonry steps and a concrete ADA ramp with metal railings. Fenestration also includes a multitude of windows in sizes and configurations, although most are plate glass windows with concrete sills and simple brick surrounds. The ground floor windows on the eastern elevation are metal divided light windows, with those at the northern end being older. There is a large multi-story wall of metal awning windows atop louvers in the utility room. The structure is primarily topped with flat rubber roofs. The building features a well-maintained landscaped buffer along the southern and western frontages, with bushes, shrubs, and some larger and more mature trees in the western yard. The property differs markedly from the surrounding residential community and even from other institutional buildings such as the Steel School, the Scottish Rite Temple, the Zembo Shrine, which feature more ornate architectural elements. However, it does have a significant architectural and historic character in its own right and is individually listed on the National Register of Historic Properties, and thereby contributes to the character of the neighborhood. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. The applicant must reconstruct portions of the 4th Street sidewalk to be ADA compliant, and specifically the loading dock in the middle of the block. The Bureau recommends that other points with vehicular crossings use driveway designs with consistent raised crosswalks across them for safer vehicular conflict points. The applicant must coordinate with the Department of Public Works regarding the size, location, and screening of any required refuse containers. The Planning Bureau recommends the applicant consider eventually consolidating all refuse storage and access in the existing vehicular access areas along the 4th Street frontage of Building 1. The applicant must ensure that any proposed signage for the businesses on site is in conformance with the applicable regulations, or they must secure the necessary zoning relief. And finally, the Planning Bureau recommends that sheltered bike parking be provided at the main entrances to both the residential and commercial components of the property, with secured bike storage potentially located in one of the proposed amenity areas on the 1st floor. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The adaptive reuse of a large, vacant, and underutilized institutional building into a mixed-use building with lower-level retail store spaces and apartments above represents a unique and challenging project in the city and will support redevelopment of the remaining buildings that comprise the former hospital complex. Additionally, the applicant is retaining flexibility in the project by reserving portions of the building for future development proposals, which will help the project grow more organically to support the needs of existing residents of the neighborhood and future residents of the development. Successful redevelopment of the institutional site may help catalyze redevelopment and reactivation of other institutional sites in the north, including the former William Penn School and the Zembo Shrine. Other conversions of former commercial or institutional buildings elsewhere in the city have generally demonstrated such projects do not adversely impact the neighborhoods in which they are located and often help generate other improvements in these communities. And finally, the proposed redevelopment will add new residents to the neighborhood to activate the street on nights and weekends and grow a customer base to support local businesses, while providing a new neighborhood-focused space, and will provide additional units to the uptown housing inventory.
Thank you, Jeff. Gentlemen heard the staff report with the conditions. Are you acceptable of those conditions?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And I skipped over, could you state your name and address
Sure.
in relationship to the project?
Sure. My name is Gregory Hallquist. I'm with Penmark Harrisburg Holdings. We're at 1000 Germantown Pike in Plymouth Meeting, PA, and I'm the owner.
Okay.
Hi, my name is David Johnson. I'm also with Penmark Harrisburg Holdings and located at the same address.
John Anderson with Cornerstone Consulting, 213 West Main Street, Lansdale, PA 19446, civil engineer for the project.
You did say you accept the acceptable, acceptance, okay. My only concern, again, usually is parking, but since I have been in the building and my offices before I retired, so I know there's lots of parking in that place, so that's not a concern with me. Mr. Commissioner O'Toole?
Yeah,
Could you state any concerns?
in light of the fact you used to work there, I was just curious why they aren't proposing to put an erect a statue out there in front of it.
Was that not in the package?
To get it approved, it might have, yeah, that may need these. No, it's, no questions, I think it's great. I mean, I think I might have stated the last time you were here that the most underutilized real estate in Harrisburg is between there and the William Penn campus, so I'm glad to see see it moving in. I'm done.
All right. Okay, Commissioner Reed?
I have no questions either.
And Commissioner Moore?
I agree with Commissioner O'Toole's comments. I think
Not done with statute.
what's that? No, but not about the statue. Maybe a fountain would be more.
Statue in the fountain.
Yeah, right? Yeah, let's get creative. I think the only question I have, I've been trying to visualize the lower level, which is called the basement, but it's, the elevation varies, so you have some parts of the building where it's walk out onto grade, not necessarily below grade.
Right.
So that's reserved for retail. And where's the loading dock
It's on the back side. It's on the lower level.
of 4th Street?
Yes.
Okay.
In a little
So,
courtyard.
okay. So would that would remain, I'm just thinking about future retail uses, being able to use the loading dock for, let's say if you have a restaurant, right, that does end up in there, right? And where those trucks are going to be going in and out of the building and the space.
So we're fortunate to have separate courtyards around the back. So for example, that loading dock is in its own courtyard area. There's actually parking spaces in there as well.
Okay, that's, okay.
It's in the back.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay. Got it. So that kind of does actually separate the
Yeah,
spaces.
it's pretty well laid
Yeah,
out
okay.
for this. There's also a couple of entrances. If you look at the campus where the emergency drop-off was on Polyclinic, that's actually at the lower level. And then you come up around to the top, and that's the front entrance to the lobby.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of separate entrance opportunity
yeah,
in the campus.
yeah. So you would even be able to sort of differentiate tenant entrances from retail entrances too?
Yeah.
That's kind of a plan there,
Yeah,
okay.
it actually lends itself really well.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. I think that's the only questions I had.
Well, the other question you have was bike racks, and we will have plenty of bike racks.
Oh, that's right, I did ask that on the last application, right, but then Jeff already put the comment in there, so, as a condition, so.
So I asked that we bring drawings of building 3 with the bike rack shown, so I can show you to you, but, no, we expect there'll be a lot of, use of bicycles, so we wanna make sure we have
I would think
abundant.
so,
I mean, that's what we're trying to promote too, is,
yeah.
bringing the streetscape alive and, working with Jeffrey, so we're gonna have plenty of bike racks in various locations in building 1.
Nice, you have plenty of
For the
space.
retail and for like
Yeah.
the workers in the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And we are segregating, I don't know that the drawings that you all have show this, but Jeffrey mentioned that we went over this with Jeffrey and shared the drawings with him, that we have to segregate some future development here. This building is 200,000 square feet. And for 130 apartments and retail, there's still 60, 70,000 square feet left over. We're limited by zoning of what we can do here. So, you know, we'll have to see what happens.
Down the road.
But we've got an easy way to segregate off some area to allow for future development. We'll see what the neighbors need and
What makes sense and all that.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have any other
we're
questions.
not relying on that as part of the, like, if it never gets developed, it's not the end of the world, so it's a good thing.
Commissioner Jordan,
No questions.
Commissioner Vincent.
No questions, exciting to see, you know, always like to see new residential and some commercial space, so.
Did I miss someone?
No?
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I am perfect.
We couldn't just keep at, we can make up questions for them now.
I have more I can give you.
That's okay. I'll go to the public. Is anyone for or against this project? Go to my left, middle, and no one to my right. Again, this is pretty straightforward, and Commissioners, could I get a motion?
Motion to approve with conditions?
Is there a second?
Second.
I think Commissioner Jordan beat you.
Yeah.
Got me.
Then move to second for approval of the project with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstention. Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
I think city council.
Okay, we're under business, Jeff.
There's nothing on the agenda for other business. I did want to bring up one point in a discussion from last month's meeting about the open house that kind of city council had with the different boards, and there was a discussion about having a end of the year report, which I don't know that I've done, you know, during my tenure here really. And I am going to try and have something to you all by beginning, maybe middle of December, and also have something, you know, to City Council just as a synopsis of what you guys have all tackled here, and maybe some of the things we're looking to do next year. I think I've talked about doing some packages of zoning map amendment or zoning code amendments with regard to like signage and maybe the use table in Chapter 73057 of the zoning code to begin, you know, working on those maybe for introduction in January, maybe not till February, depending on how much I can get done. But I think that was it was a good comment that we should be doing a little something, even if it's just a single one side of a piece of paper, and we're just kind of, you know, accounting for what's gone on here. But I do think it's helpful to not only City Council, but members of the public and yourselves to kind of, you know, summarize what the commission has done over this year, because a lot of, you know, what we do at the beginning of the year can maybe be forgotten by this point. And so, and even having an update on maybe some of those projects, what was approved in January, what happened with that? Did they move forward with that? So I'm going to look to do a little something, a little write-up for a report for you guys for sometime in December. And obviously you don't meet, so that'll just be something transmitted via email.
Okay, very good. Is there anything? Okay.
Is that something like Joe needs to review and approve, or do you just send it on our behalf? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I can do that certainly, is send it to you all, make sure you're happy with what's in it. I think it's largely going to be, you know, just academic really, of just an accounting of what's been, what you guys have been doing this year. And like I said, hopefully some goals for next year. And if you want to add something to it, you know, certainly feel free to do that, I would say.
Is there anything good for the order, Commissioners? If not, before I ask for adjournment, I'd like to wish everyone a happy holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and presents will be accepted by me.
do you want your statue in bronze?
Kind of went to his head, yeah.
And with that, can I get a motion for adjournment?